Hey, this is Susie Ramroop. I hope you're well today. I wanted to tell you a story. 3 years ago, I was earning really good money in a very sexy job, what looked like a very sexy job, and I was managing director of my own consultancy business. I'm telling you that not to brag, quite the opposite. Actually, what I want to do is set the scene, because the person I was at that time, the person I had to be to attain those things, was not the person I wanted to be. But I didn't realise this at the time. And my realisation is really the story about why I do what I do. I was always a good girl. I followed the rules. I was respectful. I never stood out at school for anything other than great grades. I never stood out at work for anything other than the person that would get stuff done. Sometimes I left a wake behind me, but I always delivered. I always got the best bonuses. I always got promotions, etc., etc. So I'd been conditioned to be on this track to success. But when my 40th birthday was looming, I suddenly felt this jolt of questioning. What am I doing? How am I going to cram my marriage into the weekends? How am I going to survive with 16 hours a week only with my child? And God, dare I ask it, what about me? What was I going to do? The answer to all my problems had been book a weekend away every 6 weeks, so I had something to look forward to. The honest truth is I was surviving my life, only just, until something happened that was enough to push me over the edge and to make me start to question, what on earth am I doing? That thing was a very high profile job with a boss who was a bully. And as miserable as that short period of time made me, it was enough. It was enough to tip me into no way am I living my life this way anymore. All of a sudden I started to question, do I have to earn as much money as I can possibly earn? Does earning that money have to occur as a result of me killing myself at work? Do I have to sacrifice my family to work? Do I have to work doing something that does not light me up? Do I have to leave my passions and my dreams on the table? Quite frankly, the position I was in at that time, I didn't even think about my dreams. I was just about thinking, is it possible that there is a way out of the life that I am living? Simply because I was not in control of it. I told myself a story that I had no choice. And I want you to hear this message today, because if at any point you are complaining about your life, telling yourself a story that you've got no choice, it's bullshit. It's absolutely not true. And I really want you to hear this, because the way that I transformed my life was by doing 4 things. And I might have to refer to notes for these 4 things. But the first thing I did was I took responsibility. Taking responsibility, when you're asked to do that, sometimes feels like a slap in the face. But actually, taking responsibility is about not allowing other people to shape your life, not allowing their expectations, their conditioning, any of that, none of that. Not allowing any of that to shape your life. So taking 100% responsibility. Separating myself from my ego. Because frankly, it was my ego that wanted the money. It was my ego that wanted the job. It was my ego that wanted the title. It was my ego that gave a shit about my CV. Now when I look back at that document that I took great pleasure in shredding copies of yesterday as I found some, It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter what's on your CV. It matters what's in here and whether or not you are willing to share it. Because when you take 100% responsibility and you realise you do have a choice and you can shape your future, what it comes down to is your willingness to allow what's in your heart, what lights you up, and your passion to come out, to share it with people, to help people with it. So why I do what I do is because I've got all of this. I've been through that experience. I even know some shortcuts now. The point is, knowing what I know, I would never want anyone to have to get to such a breaking point that then they did something about it. Look at all the tragedy in the world today. What are you waiting for? What's in here is desperate to come out, and that anxiety, that stress, that worry that you feel about the life that you're in, that's really just what's in here trying to break out. Trying to get past your ego that is going, no, you don't want to do that. Who do you think you are trying to do that? Your ego is going to try and silence you. So you've got to take 100% responsibility. You've got to separate yourself from your ego. You've got to drop the word should. So obligation is the thing that will keep you stuck. If you're trying to please people, if you've been conditioned in life to follow certain rules, I've been conditioned to be sensible, good, follow rules, be respectful. And whilst I can do those things, I'm not prepared anymore to do it at a cost to me and the things that are important to me. When you're completely submerged in obligation, what that looks like is you're not even giving yourself a second thought. You're the person that puts everyone else above you. And at some point, there'll be a tipping point in your life. And you'll end up resentful for all the people that you gave to when you realise that you are either left with nothing or you're left with something that's not even vaguely comparable to what you've given out. Imagine if you gave a fraction of what you give out to yourself. So 100% responsibility, separating yourself from your ego, dropping obligation. And point 3, and this is really what I did and why I do what I do, why I gave up all of that ego job, high-powered payment rubbish to share this with the world, because this is what I was put here to do. This is what I've been qualified to my eyeballs to do, but I wasn't brave enough to do until I went on that journey myself. You need to hire someone who's been there, who's done it before, who knows where you are, who gets that your glasses are so foggy with all of this noise of ego, obligation, blame. They get it because they've been there. I've been there. And what you need right now is someone to wipe away the fog, hold your hand, show you the direction, clear the path to a life that you can create because you're responsible for it, because you're not all caught up in your ego, because you're not trying to please everyone and follow all the rules that your life's been built on, and because you have someone in your corner. So if you would like me in your corner, I invite you to private message me. In fact, quite excitingly, tonight I have cleared my diary until 10 p.m. I have space for 3 calls, and I would love you, if you're still listening, to have one of those calls. If you're still here hearing this message right now, you need to have one of those calls. And if I can help you in any way, I will. I'm sure I can. I hope this message has been helpful. If you think it will help someone else, please do share it. And I look forward to hearing from you tonight. See you.